That brings us to his suicide, doesn't it?
Yes, well, his suicide had nothing to do with our business association, or indeed, as I understand it, with business at all. His personal life was a complete shambles. His wife, well, he loved her very much, very, very much, and she'd left him.
Why?
He'd begun to develop a very alarming drinking problem.
And is that why she left him?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm just trying to establish cause and effect, Mr. Clitheroe. Did she leave him because he drank, or did he drink because she left him?
He always drank too much.
Then did he commit suicide because she left him? Or did he commit suicide because he knew that your business affairs, yours and his, were a complete shambles and that there was a major investigation pending?
There's nothing wrong with our business that we can't put right.
Oh. So you're saying that he killed himself because of his wife? Died of a broken heart, so to speak?
Well, it has been known to happen.
But he was a man of the world, like yourself. Men of the world don't die because their wives are unfaithful to them, do they? Not if everything else is all right.
Who said she was unfaithful to him?
Oh, I'm sorry. Isn't that what you implied?
Well, I haven't implied anything to my knowledge. I merely reported the facts.
The fact you've concentrated on to explain his suicide is his failed relationship with his wife. The fact you keep avoiding is that you and he were facing bankruptcy and a public scandal.
One minute.
I keep telling you.
BTR standby.
I keep telling you that in a few months, Clitheroe's will not only be solvent, it will be robust.
Garcia Griswold. Isn't that the name of the firm that's about to take you over, a South American conglomerate?
I've never heard of them.
You've never heard of the conglomerate that's about to take you over?
I don't mean I've never heard of them. I mean in context of a takeover. This can only be all rumor, gossip, speculation.
Perhaps. Now, could we come back to your part in his suicide for a moment?
No, we can't. I've had enough of this. I've had quite enough of this.
Never fails, does it, Mike? Work away at the soft emotional underbelly, wives and suicides and so forth. And then when you've got them woozy with grief, slug them in the jaw with a real fact. Garcia Griswold. Haven't got the faintest clue that was coming.
Yeah, nor did I. I told you I wasn't sure.
Well, now we are, and tonight everybody in the country will know for certain, and tomorrow the papers will be full of it.
George, there's something I want to talk about.
Nowadays, making news for newspapers. I'll see you in the editing room in a few minutes. We'll edit more terror into it.
George, could you spare me a second?
See you then, then. Any messages?
Your wife phoned. She says...
No, I mean proper messages. Any objections yet from our legal department? What about Clitheroe's lawyers? And that critic, Margaret, what's her name, is meant to phone? The one who claims that big literary award is rigged and the jury all clean up in the betting shops. What about that guy from Brazil? Going to put us onto the midnight foreclosure swindle?
No, only your wife. She says it
Well, I'm going to the editing room, and Carol, please, this time, don't put anyone through on the phone, not even the managing director, OK?
She says it's very urgent.
What? Who?
Your wife. She says to meet her at the Pinocchio, 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock? It's already 10:02 and I'm editing. She knows I'm doing the programme and that I always edit. Well, didn't you tell her?
I didn't have the chance. When I tried, she said it was a matter of life and death.
Oh, for Christ's sake, oh, for Christ's sake, oh, for Christ's sake. I suppose if I get a taxi. Where are you going?
It's my lunch hour. Past it.
Oh, well, we can't possibly allow you to go past your lunch hour, can we? Hang on a minute. Have you got any cash on you, enough for a taxi to the West End?
I'm afraid I haven't. I've only enough for my lunch.
I thought you were supposed to go to the bank for me this morning.
You didn't ask me.
Well, in future... Oh, come on, come on. You ask me whether I want you to every morning, OK? Now, you better get off before it's time for you to get back.
Your call is being held in a queue. It will be answered strictly in rotation.
This is an emergency, damn it!
George, I really have to talk to you.
You've got precisely until the bloody operator gets me a cab. What do you want, Mike?
Well, I was just wondering whether you thought any more about giving me a credit. I mean, I am the guy who tracked down the Clitheroe-Garcia-Griswold connection. And my name isn't going to be anywhere on the screen, as far as I can make out.
I know, you did a great job, Mike. You always do. But I'm going to stick by my policy. Our investigators remain anonymous. Once people start noting your name, you'll lose your effectiveness. Look, could you tell them in the editing room that I've got to go out on a personal matter? I might be a bit late getting back. Tell them to run it through, make notes. Come on!
Yeah, but George, until people start noticing my name, I'm not going to move up the ladder, am I? I've got ambitions too.
Radio taxis.
About time. I want a taxi, please, to Grace Road Studios, going to the Pinocchio Club, Charlotte Street.
There's a delay of 45 minutes.
45 minutes? Why the hell so long?
Happens to be a very busy morning, sir.
Busy morning. We all got busy mornings. That's how we get our jobs done. But with you lot, it's always your excuse for not doing it.
Do you want the taxi or not?
Of course not.
I really have to consider my future, George. For one thing, I'm getting married and it's
Mike, have you got any cash on you? Enough for a taxi to the West End and back.
I deserve a credit on this
We'll
program.
talk about it when I get back. Give me 20. I might have to keep him waiting.
We'll talk about it before you put the credit titles on, will we, George?
What is this? A bribe? I come higher than £10, mate. Don't forget, if I'm not back, start without me, but no changes. Not a bloody change until I'm there.
Where to, Gov?
The Pinocchio, Charlotte Street.
I'm sorry, Gov, I'm going home. It's the wrong way for me.
Put your lights on.
It isn't any longer.
Well, I'll give you twice over the odds. Bloody report you!
I've told you my light's off.
I'll give you a £5 over the clock if you take me to Charlotte Street. I'll make it a tenner.
I've seen you before somewhere, haven't I?
I expect so. I have what's called a famous face.
Well, I don't like it. Not in my cab, anyway.
Oh, bloody cold suddenly. So cold. There! It's just there on the right! Here, take this on account. And wait here. I'll only be a few minutes.
I'm not waiting for you. I'm going home.
I'll give you another 10. There she is. Where's she going? Sal!
What are you doing?
Sal!
Not that way!
You forget I still hold a school long jump record.
Oh, you fool. You poor, poor fool.
Good afternoon, Mr. Grant.
Did my wife leave anything for me?
Your wife?
Yes, my wife. Did she leave anything for me? A message or a note or anything?
No, Mr. Grant.
Giorgio? Giorgio?
Yes, Mr. Grant.
My wife, did she leave a message for me?
She is upstairs at your usual table waiting for you. Yes, I think the shuttle...
Waited as long as I could. Will phone your study answering machine and leave a message explaining everything. Also a phone number where I can be reached. I'm very, very sorry, George, but your own fault. Goodbye. Love always, Sal. My own fault? What's my own fault? What does she mean? What's she talking about? What's going on? What's going on here?
Bye, Mr. Grant.
Grace Road Studios.
This is George Grant. Please phone down to the editing room. Tell them I've got a slight problem. Well, I don't know. My usual editing room.
Yes, but which number? There are 17 editing rooms in the building.
Well, it's the one... It's the third on the left. The fourth on the left. The one... Look, I'm George Grant. Don't you understand? I produced the George Grant interview show. Ask someone, anyone in the editing department. Tell them in my editing room, the George Grant editing room, that George Grant has a slight problem. We'll be back as soon as he's sorted it out. Probably later than he expected. But still, on no account, any changes. On no account until George Grant is there. Okay?
See you soon, I hope,
Yes,
Mr.
yes.
Grant.
Taxi!
George, Harry and I are doing drinks.
George, this is Tom. I would... George, Ivan here.
Darling, I suppose I should have waited a little longer, but I'm afraid I lost my nerve. I've always been a coward with you, dreading your loss of temper, your shouting, your eyeball popping, even over quite trivial things. So the thought of your behavior in Pinocchio's when I told you that I can't live with you any longer, because somebody has, well, taken me away from you, you see. Now, I know you've loved me in your way, but it was really never a good enough way. I'm making a fresh start, far, far away from you, and I shan't leave you a number or any way of getting in touch with me. I've decided it would be better if we never speak again. So, this is... Yes. Well, goodbye, darling. Goodbye.
Georgie Porgy Puddin' and Pie, this is Lolly, in from Sydney. Any chance of you and Sally meeting up with me?
Simply isn't true. This is simply not true. This is simply bloody not true.
Sally Pally, this is Lolly. I've just left a
Sally, my darling love. Hoping to catch you before you left for the dreaded meeting. Perhaps you're in the bath. I'm going to imagine you are anyway, so I can also imagine myself behind you, bending over you, soaping your breasts, while I murmur in your ear that in the end all will be well. All manner of things shall be well, for him as well as for us. There's bound to be grief and anger at such an unexpected and dramatic leave-taking. But then after the grief, there will be release, then relief, then happiness. Happiness in real love, my love. So I would murmur to you as I soaked your breasts. See you outside the restaurant, where I shall be waiting faithfully until the right moment. Your Prince of Light.
Prince of Light?
That
Prince
is
of
the end
Light?
the second name.
Prince of Light!
No further.
Look at the Prince of Light! Bugger him! I'll kill him! I'll kill him! Now let me think. Let me think. I've got to think. Prince of Light. What kind of creep would call himself? What sort of pretentious shit?
Hair life and falling.
Can I speak to Sally Grant, please?
Afraid she's in a meeting.
In a meeting?
That's right.
Now, this minute.
That's what it says in the computer.
Thank you, thank you! I'm here.
Who's here?
Grant, the name's Grant. Could I have that letter and package, please?
Grant is what's written here, far as I can see.
Yes. Well, it's Grant, I can assure you. Could I have it, please? It could be very important.
Let's just see who lives here, shall we?
Oh, for Christ's sake, I live here. That's why I'm not going to answer the bell, because I'm bloody well out here.
Look, mister, would you watch your language? Every time you open your mouth, you swear at me. I don't like it.
Look, don't you recognise me? I'm on television every week. The Grant Interview. George Grant of the Grant Interview.
Never heard of it.
I'll open the door, okay?
They're in the car.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Oh, shit and shit!
What?
My car! They've bloody stolen my car!
Who?
Who? How do I bloody know who? Some... will do something.
Like what?
Well, you've got a radio, computer, something on your bike. Call the police. What?
Oh, come on, Charlie. All I know is you turn up on the pavement demanding I hand over my delivery. I don't see you get out of any car. No, I don't. And you give me the wrong name. Grant instead of Grunter. And then you can't find your keys. They're in the car you say's been stolen. This is an account customer. And
I need that letter. I've got to have that package.
No, you don't, mate.
Hell, I don't. They belong to me, and you're going to...
Take your hand off.
Listen, you stupid shit. Oh!
I warned you. I warned you. I'm a Jehovah's Witness. We're against violent language.
George? Is everything all right?
Oh, some idiot of a messenger wouldn't give me something Sally sent. He got the name wrong. Oh. Oh, my darling, I beseech my darling Grunter to forgive his loving groaner. Grunter, groaner, oh, the bugger! The stupid bugger! He got the wrong bloody address!
Wait a minute, George.
And my car stolen, and my car keys!
Stop, George, stop. That's me, that's us.
What?
I'm Grunter, and Greta is Groaner. I mean, that's what we call each other in the privacy of the... Grunter for Graham and Groaner for Greta. We had a silly little quarrel, you see. I made a joke about her primal scream class, and it went on from there. You and Sally must know. You must have heard us at it. But she always makes up by sending me a sort of love token before she comes back. She walked out. She always does before she comes back.
Oh, well, here. Look, can I use your telephone to call a taxi? My car's been...
What's going on?
You couldn't!
I'll take you, lad.
She ain't paid me!
Don't worry, I'll set up for her as well.
You're all right. I don't want any part of that. Where to, Gov?
My wife's office.
Any idea where that is, Gov?
Oh, yes, 32 Russell Square. And hurry.
Silly cow!
She'll be out any minute.
Hey, Gov! What about my fare?
What? Oh, yes, yes. How much is it? Oh, my wallet's gone. My wallet. Must have fallen out of my pocket in the car. Now, those bastards, they've got my wallet, all my credit cards, my checkbook.
There's nothing in your pocket either, I expect, eh? Thing is, I recognise you, Gov. I've seen you showing up on the television.
Shown up, shown up. I do the showing up. I expose... I want to see Sally Grant, please. Where would I find her?
Sorry, she's in a meeting. She should be out in about 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Hello, George. What are you doing here?
Waiting for Sally. What else?
Sally? But Sally's not here.
Oh, yes, she is, Debbie, and I know it. She's in a meeting. It's on the computer, so don't give me the old runaround. I'm going to see her, and that's it.
On the computer? Let's see. Oh, so she is. The monthly fiction editorial. But those schedules are made up weeks in advance. They did this one before she left.
I think I'll have a look, if you don't mind.
I tell you, George, she's gone.
I'll just open the door and have a look. All right? Where's the room?
It may get us the reviews, but it will lose us money. We don't need the prestige. We can't afford the prestige. Yes.
Excuse me, I just want to take a quick peek.
What do you want?
Sorry. I've made a mistake. That's all.
What does he want? I know him from somewhere. He's been following me.
I have to talk to you, Debbie.
George, what is going on?
Do you know somebody called the Prince of Light?
The Prince of Light?
Yeah, some joke name for one of your authors.
She's left you then, has she, George?
Did you ever tell her about us?
I was far too ashamed to tell anyone, George, especially her.
Ashamed? Why should you be ashamed? We had a great time. 3 months of...
1 hour lunches followed by 2 hours in hotel rooms. You betraying your wife, I betraying one of my closest friends.
But it didn't mean anything. It was just convenient.
That's why I'm ashamed, George. But what's this to do with anything?
I'm just trying to find a reason for her betrayal.
You mean because you betrayed her?
I didn't betray her. I just had a few flings now and then, and I made bloody sure she never found out. I was very careful of her feelings, but she's actually gone away with someone, just like that. Bang! Without explanation, without apology. Just bang! Bang! Just like that.
People do it to people all the time, George.
Not to me, they bloody don't. I'm gonna find the bugger who's stolen her. Stolen! Yes, stolen!
Don't you mean you want to find out who she prefers to be with?
We've been married for 25 years. We own a house, have a child, made a life together. Good times, bad times, happy holidays, bloody miserable holidays, worrying over Betsy, rows, celebrations, my marriage. My marriage has been stolen from me. That's what's been stolen. My marriage! And I'm going to... What's the time?
Hello, Grace Road Studios.
Grant. George Grant here. Now listen carefully. Phone down to the George Grant editing room and tell them that George Grant is still a bit involved in something. Will be along in due course. No changes. No changes. Okay?
Which editing room? There are 17 editing
You find out. Find out and deliver my message, okay? I want to have a look in her office.
You'll have to ask Norman.
Why?
Because it'll be locked. We have to keep them locked even if we're only out of them for a cup of coffee, and he's the only one with a pass key.
Then let's go and get it from him.
Rummage through a colleague's office.
give you permission to do that?
She's not my colleague, Norman. She's my wife.
But she's my colleague, and I can't take responsibility for allowing you to rummage.
Will you bloody stop using that word? Rummage doesn't come into it. I merely want to see if I can find a clue to my wife's whereabouts.
Perhaps she doesn't want you to find a clue. As far as I'm concerned, she's taken time off that was owing to her, and she's entitled to spend that time wherever she likes, with whomever she likes, and to keep her office locked and private while she's doing it. I'm sorry, George. Whatever your domestic problems, it's not on. It's simply not on.
Not on? Not on? Do you seriously think I'm going to let you decide what's on and not on where my own life is at stake?
Life?
Wife, I mean wife. Give me the key, Norman!
No, George. I won't. There are all kinds of issues involved here.
And one of them is going to be a smashed door.
Don't do it, George! I'll get security!
Give her the pill you want!
George, please don't. For your
You
own
don't
sake.
care a damn, not a damn about my marriage!
How dare you? How dare you? I've seen that man before. I'm absolutely sure he's been following me.
That's George Grant, Sally's husband. You've probably seen him before on television. He's got a show.
Oh, please. Please don't open it.
I can't believe it. Not Sally. Not my wife with trash like this.
You haven't even got the right office. I tried to tell you. Sally moved across the hall months ago. She's in there.
Get him out of here and don't let him through again.
Come back again, and your balls are mush.
Yes, mate. Number 2 Manor Road.
Number 2 Manor Road.
Yes, that's it. Number 2 Manor Road.
This gentleman here wants to be dropped off at number 2 Manor Road.
I mean, it's in Golders Green. I want Golders Green. I'm looking for Betsy. Betsy Grant.
Betsy Grant?
Yes.
And who are you?
Her father, actually. Is this the wrong house?
No. No, it isn't. Come in. Harold? Harold? It's the father of the girl, yes?
You want to come and live here too, do you?
What do you mean? I'm just looking for my daughter, Betsy.
Come with me.
She's not here, then?
No, but she's been here, she and her friends.
But she was invited to stay by one of her friends at college.
She was house-sitting was what she was doing. We paid her. We actually paid her. And what she did was to turn it into a squat, virtually. We came back from Barbados 3 days early. 3 days early! Because neighbors had the good sense to phone us and let us know what was going on. When I get hold of that agency tomorrow, she must have had 20, 30 people to stay here while we were gone. God knows how many.
What I need to know is where she is.
Oh, that's what you need to know, is it?
what my husband was saying just before you rang the bell? He was saying he'd love her parents to know what kind of slut of a girl they produce.
We had 3 children. 3 children. They would never have left their own rooms like this, let alone other people's. They knew we would die of shame. But then we brought them up to be civilized, not to take advantage of people.
£40 a week we paid her.
They used my computer, my fax machine, my compact leisure centre.
Every facility. Did you see the video spread all over the place? Not even back in their cartons.
Dope, cigarettes, condoms.
I'll pay
What?
for your joints and your condoms. Just tell me where my daughter is.
You think that's funny? A joke? Our house turned into this?
We know you from somewhere. We know him.
On television, we've seen him.
That's it. One of those comics who makes filthy jokes. And now he makes filthy jokes with us. Shame on you. Just like your wife on the phone.
I'm George Grant. My wife, you talked to my wife.
Expecting apologies for the daughter you have.
Where did you talk to her?
At your home number, of course. Do you know what she said? She said she was too busy to call.
When did you phone her?
When, where? What is this where and when? I'm trying to tell you something about your wife and daughter.
When did you phone her?
10 minutes ago.
You phoned her at my home 10 minutes ago, is that right? Is that right?
You talk to my wife like that television comic. You talk to my wife like that. Here, take that television comic. Take that. Get out.
You and your filthy daughter and your filthy joke.
Here. Take this. Out of my house with it.
Sally! Sally! Betsy! Betsy! Was that you?
What?
In the house? Is Mum in there?
No, Dad, she's gone, you know that.
But those people, the one whose house you... The woman, she said that she phoned here and spoke to Mum half an hour ago.
Oh, that was me, Dad. Pretending to be Mum so I could get them off the phone quickly. I was just getting some of Mum's knickers and stuff.
You're taking them to her? Where?
No, she said I could have them. She doesn't need them anymore. Look, Dad, I have to get off. Doug's found somewhere out in Finchley. I have to get over there right away. What are you doing up there, anyway?
Looking for Mum. Betsy, I've got to talk to you. Betsy, we've got to talk. Mum's left me.
I know. I'm sorry, Dad, but I don't see what else you can do, really, do you? Anyway, these things happen. God, they brought back Doug's bike!
No, Betsy! Betsy, please wait.
I can't, Dad. I've got my own life to get on with.
Betsy! I need your keys! I can't get in! Your keys! I need your keys!
That's it. That's it! And don't you come back! Don't you dare come crawling back!
Come back! If I'm mad enough to come back, you can have me put away. I'd feel safer. But I tell you one thing. You slammed the door. You slammed the door of my own house that I paid for. Paid for with my toil and sweat.
Pretty neighbours you've got, hey, George?
That was you, wasn't it? Climbing around your windows and shouting. I told you it was. Sorry.
Where are you going?
To see my solicitor, of course.
Where is he?
In Euston.
Give me a lift.
Well, where to?
My studios! My studios, of course. I've got work to do. Work! I've got a very important program to edit and... I'm running late. I've got to get back.
Well, is it on my way? I'm in a hurry too.
Yes, you got me there before.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, then get in, but be quick. Here they are. Just missed the buggers, thank God.
Are they coming for you?
No, you.
Me? Why?
Greta sent for them, I'm afraid.
Why?
She pretended to think it was a burglar. Of course, I told her it was probably only you. Lost your keys or something. And then when you started bellowing, Sal, Sal, she said Sally had obviously locked you out and you were trying to get in to beat her up.
But that's insane. That's... Well, frankly, that's insane.
The thing to do now is to make sure I keep the house and everything in it. Set her up in a little flat somewhere, or a bedsit. I don't pay her a penny more than I have to, just enough to live on. So, straight from the lawyer to a private detective, eh?
Private detective? Why a private detective?
Well, just think of the hours she spends every day, which could be anywhere as far as I know. With a bit of luck, he'll dig out a really steamy past. Some man. Or men. No, given her, it would have to be a lot of luck. A miracle, in fact. I'm the only man in the world stupid enough to have wanted her. I mean, you've never fancied her, have you? Why should you when you've got Sally? Go on, tell me the truth. Have you ever fancied Greta, even for a second, as I've fancied Sally?
Look out, look out! Oh, my God, oh, my God!
That was nearly it, wasn't it? That was nearly it. Oh, God. Greta. My poor, sad Greta. I love her so much. I've got to get back. Back.
It's there.
An omen.
Private detective. What private detective?
Oh, I don't know. I suppose my solicitor would have given me a name. Who cares now? But thank you, George. I know somehow that if you hadn't been there, in the car, things would have been completely different.
So you're saying he killed himself because of his wife? Died of a broken heart, so to speak?
Well, it has been known to happen. But he was a man of the world, like yourself. Men of the world don't die because their wives are unfaithful to them, do they? Not if everything else is all right.
Well, who said she was unfaithful to him?
Oh, I'm sorry. Isn't that what you imply?
I want to see if we can cut away from George there. He looks so bloody smug.
But he was a man of the world.
Christ, what an arsehole.
Men of the world don't
Turn it
die
off!
because their wives are unfaithful.
Turn it off! Mike, can I have a word, please?
A word?
A private word, please.
Oh, Mr. Grant, some lawyers are going to call about...
No, Carol, no calls, no interruptions of any sort until I've finished with Mr. Mitchum. A couple of things you can do, though. Phone the police and report my car stolen. And my credit cards, report them stolen too and have them cancelled. All of them. And don't forget, no interruptions. Now, come on, Mike, let's get on with it. Shut the door. My wife has left me for another man, and I want you to get her back for me. So let's get cracking, Mike. What do you need to know?
But, George...
Yes?
Well, I'm not a private detective, George.
You're my ace investigator. You know how to find things out, follow them up, just as you did with Garcia Griswold. There's no doubt in my mind you'll find her easily. It'll be a doddle for you. Come on, we're wasting time.
Yeah, but George, I've got work to do. There are at least 3 projects you've greenlighted.
You drop everything until you get my wife back. Now, I suppose the best method is for me to tell you exactly what happened. What little I know. When I went to meet her for lunch, she was coming out of the restaurant. At least, I think she was. That is, she was walking away from the restaurant and not towards it. That much I can be sure of. In view of what happened next, you see, Mike,
George, I'm sorry. I can't help you. I can't drop our projects just because you tell me to. I'm paid by the company, not by you, remember. Of course, if I can help you in my spare time on the side...
In your spare time on the side? We're talking about my life here, Mike, my life. My wife, that is. This has got to be the only thing that you do until you've got her away from him and back with me. Okay? Now, where was I? Oh, yes.
It's no good, George. I'm not going to do it even if I could. My primary obligation is to the company.
Your paycheck comes from the company, Mike, but it's me, who chooses the investigators for my programs, and you're just a freelance, Mike. 6 a penny. Don't forget that.
I'm not 6 a penny, George. I'm one of a kind, the best there is, and you know it. So I'll just toddle down to the BBC, where they'll be delighted to see me.
Mike! I'm sorry. Sorry. It's just that this thing has happened to me, and I don't know how it's happened to me or why. So I'm turning to you because I need you. I've never needed anyone so much in my life. I've got to get it back. I've got to get it back. It's the one thing I know. Listen, Mike. I tell you what. As soon as you've got it for me, not only will I guarantee to employ you on a long-term basis, but I'll give you a credit. You'll have the only research credit. Above the titles, Mike. Produced by George Grant. Researched by Michael Mitchum.
I want it in writing, an official offer. No reference to your wife, of course.
Of course. Now, I only had the briefest glimpse of him, this bugger.
And I want it now, before I start.
Carol, come in here. Bring your pad straight away.
I reported your car stolen to the police, Mr. Grant, and I've cancelled your credit cards and your wife phone.
Very good. Now, take a letter. To Michael Mitchum. Dear Michael, this is to confirm that you will be employed as chief researcher on all future George Grant interview programs, and that you will be granted the only credit at the front of the show apart from the producers, George Grant's. With best wishes, George Grant. Now, would you type that up and bring it back for me to sign? Satisfied? Now, can we get on with it? I saw the bugger briefly through the window of the car. Plump, roly-poly, hint of effeminacy. Not her type at all. The car was chauffeur-driven, so he's obviously rich. Not that that would interest her. They drove away.
What was the license number?
How would I know?
You said you saw it driven away.
Yes.
Then you saw the license number, so you must know it.
But I didn't register it.
Yes, you did. Come on, George, it's your only chance. Speak the number. Speak it to me. Speak it to me. Speak it to me. Come on, George. Come on, George. Come on, George. Come on, George. Speak. Speak. Speak.
Yes. 713G.
Rex, it's Mike. GBS 713G.
It's as if it had been buried there, in the very soul of my memory, just waiting to be released. It was like a birth almost.
Yes, well, that's probably because it's your own number.
What?
You remembered the license number of your own car. Thanks, Rex. Be in touch.
MLX 315K.
Hang on. Try MLX 315K. You did say 5K.
Say what?
5K.
5K? I didn't say anything.
Now that sounds likely. Thanks, Rex. Be in touch.
Who is it? Who is it?
Would you sign that first, please, George? Hang on a minute, love.
Now then.
What did you say, love?
Who?
Mr. Grant's wife, when she phoned, what did she say?
My wife? My wife phoned? Why didn't you tell me?
She did.
Yes, I did. When I came in to do the letter, I said I reported your car.
What did she say? What did she say?
Well, nothing. She was calling from a phone box, reverse charges. Said she needed to speak to you urgently. And I said she couldn't because you'd given orders not to be interrupted by any...
Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, no, you couldn't have. Oh, you fool. Oh, you complete and utter ninny. You ninny.
She said she'd be phoning back in a few minutes.
I won't allow you to talk to my fiancé like that. I won't. No, I won't.
Your fiancé?
Yes, my fiancé.
Out of the way, you idiot! And you, don't you bloody touch that phone. Hello, George Grant speaking.
Will you accept a call from a Mrs. Grant in a...
Yes, of course I will, yes.
Who?
Sally! Sally at last, thank God. I can't hear you, darling. I can't hear you. Operator!
Dad, don't shout.
Betsy! Why do you keep doing this to me, pretending to be Mum?
Because I thought at least you'd take the call. Look, the thing is, this place I was telling you about, we need a deposit, a £200 deposit. Can you lend it to me, Dad?
You know where Mum is, don't you?
Well, sort of.
Well, tell me.
I can't, Dad. It wouldn't be right. You just have to find out for yourself.
If you tell me, I'll give you the money.
Oh, Dad, I feel sorry for you. I really do. Bye.
No, Betsy, wait! Why? Well, I've got something back at least, haven't I? Miles N. Style. Miles N. Style. Miles N. Style, here I come. Got him! Got the bugger! And remember, you tore the letter up, not me, so no credit for you, boyo. No credit!
I'm sorry.
I stopped for her.
You stopped for me? I saw you see me.
Come on, get in, love.
This is my cab.
No, it isn't. It's my cab, and I decide who rides in it. Now, come, love, come on, get in.
Oh, no, I can't. I can't. He's right. I didn't try to stop you. I just saw you drawing up, so I thought I'd treat myself. But I've no right. And I shouldn't take you anyway. I can't really afford you.
Yes, you can, love. It's a free ride.
But that's not fair on this gentleman.
Look, where do you want to get to?
Home.
Well, get in, love. I'll take you there, wherever it is.
Where is it?
Potter's Bar.
Well, there you are, you see. I'm on the way. I'll pay my fare, and you can take this lady on. How's that?
All right, then. Get in.
Courtney Green 123, please.
Just as the sunrise, I heard a maiden sing in the valley below. Remember the vows that you made to your Mary. Remember the vows that you made to be true. Oh, don't deceive me. Oh, never leave me. How could you use a poor maiden so? Oh, I'm so sorry. I was far away. Far away.
That's all right. So was I. So was I. Thank you. Look, I'm sorry I was such a lout about the taxi. You see, I'm a bit desperate. My wife, you see, my wife...
Oh, no wife stories, if you please. I always find them so boring. Do you think I don't know who you are? You're that wicked man who hurts people on television.
Are you sure this is right?
1, 2, 3, Courtney Green. It's one of those behind you. What's this? You give me 4p too much?
That's your tip. It's all I've got.
Well then, Squire, better keep it for yourself. You might need it.
MLX 315K, that's it. That's it.
Good morning, sir. Can I help you?
You have a grey saloon, Mercedes. MLX 315K.
Have we indeed?
Yes, you have indeed. There's a picture of it in your window.
Yes, we have indeed. You have need of its use, sir? I'm very sorry.
Sorry? Why sorry?
If there's been a death, sir.
Death? What do you mean?
Well, that particular car, sir, is reserved for cortege work.
Cortege?
As in funerals, sir. It takes the widow, widower, as the case may be, close members of the family.
Your car wasn't in a funeral cortege this afternoon. It was taking my wife somewhere or other. I need to know where she went.
Ah.
Can you tell me, please?
I can certainly find out, sir. It's all on the log.
Thank you.
Is there anything else I can help you with, sir?
No. That's all I want.
Well then, good afternoon, sir.
No, I mean, all I want from you is my wife's destination this afternoon.
Well, I can't possibly give out that sort of information, sir.
Why not?
Because such information is highly confidential, sir. It's one of the reasons people hire us for our confidentiality, sir. Please, sir, before you speak, let me remind you of what I said, that I can't possibly give out that sort of information and direct you towards the operative word, which is, of course, give, sir.
How much?
At your discretion, sir. As they say in certain old-fashioned restaurants, when confronting you with a bill for £1,166, when, of course, the rogues are expecting their usual 15% tip, and then a fiver over as often as not.
15% of 1,166.
175, sir. And the fiver over makes £180, sir. That's what the rogues expect and get, sir.
They take credit cards, do they? These rogues of yours?
I'm afraid not, sir. They require cash. Otherwise, it goes along with the other 85% of the proprietors, and the poor wretched rogues receive nothing, sir.
Sort of bank nearby?
Just up the road, sir, on the left. A lovely little bank. Very loving and caring. Oh, by the way, I have to close the office at 4 o'clock sharp, on the dot. Another death in the family, I'm afraid. Still, that leaves you plenty of time.
One 607. What? No, 1706. 1760. No, 1607. 1706. I thought so. 1760.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
I'm sorry, sir, the position's closed, but there's that one.
No, this is unfair, preposterously unfair.
I'm sorry, sir, but I have to take my lunch break. I'm sure you'll understand.
But I've been waiting here half an hour.
It's a rule of the bank, sir. They want to make sure we have a proper lunch break, even when it's a late one.
Meanwhile, bugger the customers, eh?
Is there a problem, Sarah?
I'm afraid this gentleman is rather angry, Mr. Humphrey. He doesn't understand about our lunchtime benevolence regulations.
Well, I'll look after the gentleman. You be on your way, my dear, and do try to resist the hot dogs. Remember your health and temper, and of course add an extra few minutes to your break, my love.
Yogurt and cottage cheese and mineral water, I promise, Mr. Humphrey. I've seen him before somewhere. I'm sure I have.
Really? Now, sir, how can I help you?
Yes, well, you see, what happened was I put my cash card in the machine out there and got the number wrong.
And the machine gobbled your card up, did it?
Yes. Well, now I've remembered the number. It's 6017. 6071. So if I could have my card back.
Unfortunately, most unfortunately, your card has dropped into a sealed vault. We here in this bank can't get at it. It'll be collected later this evening and destroyed. But it will, in due course, be replaced.
But I need the money now. You see, my wife... I need some cash immediately. It's almost a matter of life and death, really.
Then we must help you. We really must.
Thank you. Thank you. You see, I don't come into a bank very often. My secretary, Carol, anyway, she usually does that sort of thing. That's why I got the number muddled. She gets my cash, you see.
Secretary dependency. I suffer from it a little bit myself. It's one of the less noticeable corruptions of power.
Yes, all right. Well, what do I do?
Have you any credit cards?
Oh, yes, I have.
Which ones?
Well, Barclaycard, Access, Visa, American Express, Diners Club, MasterCard.
Well, any of those will do with this bank, so there you are then.
Well, no wonder you call yourself the loving and caring bank, eh?
This will do nicely. How much do you need?
£180. Well, actually, 200 would be better, so I have something in my pocket to see me through whatever I need to do next.
Well, one must always have cash in one's pocket to feel secure, mustn't one? Cuddle money, my wife calls it.
Cuddle money? Yes, I know exactly what she means.
Well, I'll just make the usual phone calls. I hope there won't be too much delay. Really, these people and their computers. There's a delay of up to 15 minutes before clearance. I happen to know the chap in the central office, so I phoned him and gave him a bit of a wigging, I'm afraid. As I said to him, I have a customer who must be attended to. To do him justice, he was very apologetic. Look, come and wait in my office. At least you can sit down in comfort. I have some coffee on the go and a bottle of wine now, I come to think of it.
This is very kind of you, but what about one of my other cards?
My dear Mr. Grant, you seem, if I may say so, to be completely out of touch with the modern world. These days, credit cards are all cleared through the single system, so you'd have the same problem even with the Diners Club. Here we are. Sit you down. Sit you down, Mr. Grant.
How do you know my name?
Oh, from this, of course. Mr. George B.F. Grant.
Oh, yes, of course. Actually, it's B.S. Does that say B.F.?
Oh, no, you're right. It's B.S. It's very difficult to distinguish between F and S on these wretched, shiny little things. BF would be unfortunate, wouldn't it? Almost as unfortunate as my own initials, B.O. Humphrey. B for Bernard, O for Orville. But imagine my school days, eh? Actually, I loved them. Everyone was very good to me, even the nuns.
I don't know whether this helps matters, with identification, I mean, but as a matter of fact, I'm quite famous.
Are you indeed? What for?
Well, I'm on television every week. I'm George Grant, of the Grant Interview.
Well, that explains why Sarah thought she recognized you, doesn't it? Yes, she watches everything. Very bad for the eyes and the brain, as I keep telling her. I'm afraid I don't indulge. I threw my set out years ago. Now, what would you like? Oh, good heavens. There's actually some champagne. I wonder where that came from. Would you like a glass?
I'd love one. I had no idea Banks had become so...
Loving and caring. Well, we had to change people's perception, didn't we? Good business. Mark you, George, sometimes it works the other way round. Good business follows from people's desire to be loving and caring, if you follow. You know, I'd rather be out of work myself than the cause of homelessness and unemployment to others. There are still some Banks, you know. But, we are in this world to help each other. Why else? Christ, Buddha, Muhammad, Aristotle, Plato, Hegel, Kant, even the poor discarded Karl would all agree on that one point. I mean, what would have been the good? The good of my not trying to help you, George.
I can't tell you how grateful. It's been such a terrible time for me, you see, these past few hours.
Tell me.
My wife's left me. For another man.
Oh, George.
You see, what happened? Bernard, isn't it?
Bernie, really.
Well, what happened, Bernie, is I went to meet her at our usual restaurant. She sort of summoned me.
George, why not go back to the beginning? The whole story.
Yes. You're right. But what is the whole story, Bernie, when you come to it? The whole story of anybody's life.
Well, it's a story of love, isn't it? And need. And love's failure, needs failure. Is your mother still alive, for instance?
No. No, I got her into a home. She's gaga.
Oh, then she is alive.
What? Oh, yes, technically speaking, but in every other respect.
And your father?
Died when I was 6. Think of suicide.
You think?
He was found hanging by his neck in the cellar. My mother always claimed it was accidental. It was before. Do it yourself.
You're thinking of something quite different, aren't you? Not of your mother and father at all.
I'm thinking of my wife, Bernie. My Sally. Of our life together. All our years together.
And you've always known you've loved her, have you?
Oh, yes. From the moment I saw her. We were at college, you see, both reading English. We shared the same tutorials. What was it you asked me?
Whether you've always known you've loved her.
No. At the beginning, it was her knees, you see, and her chin, and the way her hair. And then for years after, while we had our child Betsy and lived our different lives, I think I forgot. I forgot, Bernie.
And when did you remember that you loved her?
Today. At lunchtime. When I saw her getting into the car with that... And he's just at the beginning, isn't he? They're at the beginning of their love. And perhaps he won't forget. He'll keep at it.
You see, George?
I don't know how to love. Except at the beginning. And until it's too late. It's true. True. And dreadful. Isn't it, Bernie? Can I have some more champagne, please?
There is one thing more dreadful, George.
What, Bernie?
Not even to begin and end in love.
But what is love? What is love? If, first of all, you don't even have to try to do it because looking at knees and chins and all that does it for you. And then you go for years and years and years without knowing you're doing it. And then you suffer so much because you realize you've been doing it without knowing it because you've lost it. What is that, Bernie? Why that infliction? Why, Bernie, why? Why can't love leave us alone? Why can't it? What's the point, Bernie? The point? Tell me. Please, please. Why suffer a loss when for all these years you haven't even noticed the having? Why? Bernie, why?
Because then you're reminded that you have a soul, George. You didn't love in order to lose. You lost in order to love.
What kind of bank manager are you, Bernie? Oh, my God. My God, the time! What are they doing?
There you are. Come in, lads. You may take him.
Thank you, Mr. Humphrey. I don't know how you do it. Will you accompany us to the station, please, sir?
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
It'll be easier for you if you come quietly, sir.
I haven't done anything. What am I supposed to have done?
You're in possession of stolen credit cards, with which you are attempting to obtain a sum of money.
Stolen? Stolen? They're not stolen, they're mine.
Well, they were reported stolen a mere few hours ago.
Oh, nonsense, nonsense. Oh, yes. But good God, I reported them stolen myself. Oh, that is, Carol, my secretary. I told her to report them stolen.
And then you tried to use them. It's a criminal offense, George. If that is your name.
No, no. It's just that with everybody leaving me, betraying me, I forgot. And you sent for the police. All the time we've been in here talking, you listening and loving and caring, you were waiting for the police. How could you, Bernie? How could you? Oh!
Oh, my goodness. What a mess you're in, George, if that is your name. A wife on the lam with another chap? Criminal charges pending of, at the very least, fraud?
Including resisting arrest, assaulting an officer.
2 officers, Charlie. I'm getting in on this one.
Oh, all right. Assaulting 2 officers.
And attempting to assault a bank manager.
So, that makes 2 officers.
1 bank manager.
Not to mention the charges I've already mentioned.
So, let's be off to the station with him.
No! No, please, I've got so little time. Almost no time left. I know it. I knew from the moment I found her that I had to be quick. If I was going to save her. Us. Please help me to save her. Me.
This is disgusting. Quite disgusting.
I know. I'm sorry. But help me, help me.
I really can't abide this. Have you no dignity, sir? No dignity?
No. None.
Oh, good. Then you're ready to accept the inevitable.
Oh!
Here we go!
Bloody cold suddenly. It's so cold. Here, take this on account and wait here. I'll only be a few minutes.
I'm not waiting for you. I'm going home.
I'll give you another 10. There she is. Where's she going? Sal!
Not that way!
Oh, you fool. You poor, poor fool.
What was it? The matter of life and death. You wanted to see me.
I just needed to tell you how much I loved you. How much you meant to me.
That's all right then, isn't it?
Running